Hi everyone, it's Surasid. Welcome back to Design Code. In today's video, I'm going to show you the best way to design in flat style and light mode. And we all know that flat design can look too similar to other design, but how can we make it stand out? That's what we're going to explore together. You're going to learn how to organize your designs with visual hierarchy and information architecture. We're going to also go over how to convert your color styles into variables, making it easy to switch between light and dark modes. Plus, we're going to explore the latest updates on Typography Variables, which are game changers for efficiently managing and scaling your design projects. Flat design is a minimalist style that focuses on usability. It uses bold, solid colors and simple shapes like rectangles and circles to create a clean and straightforward look. This style avoids complex textures and shadows, opting instead for clear lines and open spaces that make it easy to use and understand. You can find some great example of flat design on Mobbin. Vivid colors and legible typography help make elements stand out and keep the design simple. Overall, flat design aims to be visually appealing and functional without any unnecessary details. Light mode design uses a light background, often white with dark text and colorful accents. It focuses on a clean and bright look to improve readability and reduce eye strain. Subtle shadows and highlights add depth, while plenty of white space improves usability. This style works well with minimalist and flat designs, using simple graphics and clear typography to keep the interface user-friendly. For our fitness app, we'll make our flat design more appealing by incorporating bold shapes, vibrant solid colors, and clear large typography to achieve a minimalist look. We're focusing on unique and engaging elements that captivate attention while adhering to the principles of flat design: no gradients, strokes, or shadows. We're going to use a consistent and vibrant color scheme, focusing on solid colors that pop without gradients. We're going to use accent colors to highlight key elements like buttons or links, and softer shades for secondary information. Colors will establish a visual hierarchy on the screen, guiding the user's eye from the most important elements to less prominent ones. This approach helps create a user-friendly interface that communicates information effectively. We'll be using two fonts, SF Pro and Space Grotesque, in various weights such as light, regular, and semi-bold. Our choice of bold, readable fonts, combined with large text sizes for key information, ensures that the text is easy to navigate and draws attention to important details. Most excitingly, we'll explore how to effectively use typography variables, which allow you to set up font family, size, and spacing once and apply them across your designs with just a few clicks. If you haven't tried them yet, variables allow you to create reusable values for design properties like colors, text styles, and spacing. These variables help maintain consistency across your designs, making it easier to update elements globally. You'll also learn about styles in Figma, which are predefined properties such as colors, text styles, and effects that ensure consistency and efficiency in your designs. We'll cover how to convert our color styles into variables, streamlining color management across the project. Instead of doing this manually, we'll use a plugin called Styles to Variables Converter. This tool automates the conversion, seamlessly updating each color style into a variable. Before we begin, a big thanks to Mobbin for sponsoring this course. Their support gives me amazing design resources and insights. Mobbin is perfect for real-world design inspiration, and I really appreciate what they bring to our design community. If you love great design, check them out. Plus, I'm happy to share a 20% discount on your first billing with them. To follow this course, you'll need my Figma file. I've been using the new design code UI kit for iOS, but it hasn't been released yet. Since you don't have access yet, I'll include it on my assets page. You'll be able to access my initial design, prototype, components, and text and color styles, including variables for light and dark modes and typography.
So let's get started then.
The first screen we're going to design is the active workout screen. It's designed to keep the user informed and engaged throughout their exercise routine and includes workout progress, workout control, and a preview of the next exercise. We're going to start by creating the presentation frame. Then, fill the presentation frame with a color that provides good contrast with the light mode UI design. We can adjust the color later if needed. Then, create a screen frame inside the presentation frame, choosing the device you want. I will go with the iPhone 14 and 15 Pro. Since we are doing a light mode design, choose a light color and round the corners to 50. We're going to add a status bar and navigation to the top of the screen. You can use components from any UI kit you prefer or choose from my assets page. Let's create a semicircular progress arc that indicates the elapsed time, showing the user how much time they've spent on the current exercise set versus the total planned time. This visual indicator will help users quickly see their progress during a workout. Press on O to activate the ellipse tool and create a circle with a diameter of 353. For a perfect circle, hold the Shift key while dragging. With the ellipse selected, you will see a small handle on the side. Click on this handle and drag it either clockwise or counterclockwise. By dragging this handle slightly, you will start converting the circle into an arc. Set the start angle to 0%. This positions the beginning of the arc at the top center of the circle. Next, set the end angle to 50%. This configures the arc to cover half of the circle, visually representing a 50% completion. This is because I want to create a semicircular arc rather than a full circle. Then, we're going to change the ratio to 92%. This adjusts the inner radius, making the arc thicker. To create a progress arc that fills as time progresses, duplicate the arc layer. Use one as the background and the other as the progress. And fill the background layer with the container accent color style or one of your choice. Then, select the duplicated arc layer and fill with button accent color style. This will be your progress arc, which will fill up as time progresses. Next, set the sweep angle to -25%. This marks the starting point of the progression. Then, set the start angle to -90 degrees to orient the starting point of the arc to the left. Ensure the ratio is set to 92% to maintain consistency in thickness with the background arc. To provide users with essential workout details, we'll add the timer and set indicator information. This displays the elapsed time and the current set number within the user's workout session. For the subheadings, we're going to type elapsed using the caption text style. We're going to set the text to auto width and align left. Then type a random elapsed time using the subheadline style. After, select both texts and group them into a container with auto layout by pressing Shift+A. Remove the gap between them. Now let's duplicate and change the texts. Now, let's add the central time display. We're going to highlight this time using Title 1 style to draw attention to the active timer, making it prominent and engaging. Then, group the text into a container with auto layout and set 20 on the gap value. We're going to design the workout control that displays the current exercise along with its intensity level and includes a play-pause button. This keeps users informed and in command of their workout routine. First, create a circle with a 60 diameter and fill it with an exercise image from a stock plugin such as FreePick or Unsplash. Now, type the intensity level using the footnote style, then add another text below and type the name of the exercise using the headline style. Select the two text elements, then apply auto layout with a spacing of 4 between them. Take the pause or play icon from my asset. Make sure the size is 24. Then add the icon inside a container of 60 by 60 using auto layout. Let's name the layers, add the 3 elements to an auto layout, and fill the container with the accent color style. Resize the frame to a fixed width of 353. Set the padding to 10 horizontally and vertically in the auto layout properties. For the spacing between the 3 elements, we'll set it to auto. This setting automatically adjusts the space between elements to distribute them evenly within the container. However, if you don't want the text centered and prefer it closer to the image, you should group the image and the text box into a single container. Set the spacing between the image and the text box to 8. Then adjust the alignment to center. Next, apply the button hover color style to the button container and set its corner radius to 50. Repeat this step for the parent container to round its corners as well. Now, we're going to design the exercise preview component, which showcases an upcoming or suggested workout, with visual and descriptive teaser of what the user can expect next. Start by creating a frame with the dimensions 353 by 238. Then, fill this frame with an image that visually represents the exercise. Use image from the FreePick, Unsplash plugin, or in the Assets page. For the heading, type out the main title of the exercise using headline style. Below the heading, add the subheading the footnote style. Select both the heading and the subheading and apply auto layout. Set the gap between the two text elements to 4 pixels. Now, select the image and the auto layout text box and group them together in another auto layout. Ensure that the spacing between the image and the text box is set to 0. Take back the text box container and apply horizontal and vertical padding of 20 to ensure the content is well spaced within the component. Then we're going to set the text box to fill the container. This will make the text layout expand to use the full width of its parent container. Then we're going to round the corner of the parent container to 30 and make sure to clip content. You can see the layout lacks contrast. Let's add some color using the container color style. Let's add a play button. You will need a play icon. Place it inside a container of 44 by 44. Fill with the button hover style and round the corner to 50. Select the play button and set its position to absolute in the Properties panel. This lets you move the play button freely without affecting the auto layout. Move the play button to between the image and text box. Keep it 20 pixels away from the right edge of the container for visual balance and easy access. Then, we're going to add a very subtle shadow to make it floating. Next, we're going to add the heading from the asset page. The spacing rule I've set for myself is 20 pixels between each category, and within the same category, the spacing is 16 pixels. Now, let's design a circular tab bar that floats above the main content at the bottom of the screen. Although this type of tab bar is uncommon, it's crucial from a UX standpoint that its design is intuitive and the icons are easily recognizable. Additionally, We must ensure that all the tabs are easy to tap with one finger. You will need 9 icons that represent key functionalities of your app. You can source these icons from SF Symbols or any preferred icon library, or use the same icons as me in my asset page. Let's create the base of the tab bar using a frame that measures 230 by 230. Then we'll change the shape into a circle by rounding the corners to 120. The color will be white, but we'll reduce the opacity to 10%. Now, bring the power button and place it in the center of the frame. Bring 2 tabs and place them in the middle horizontally, ensuring a spacing of 16 from the edge of the frame. Do the same with 2 more tabs, placing them in the middle, but this time vertically. We still have 4 tabs to place. This time we'll place them diagonally. To do this, we'll take 2 more tabs, aligning them together to make sure they're aligned correctly. Now take the 2 more last tabs and aligning them together to make sure they're aligned correctly. Bring the tab bar inside the main frame and place it at the bottom. Then, select the base. We're going to add background blur because it's transparent and we can see the content behind. After that, select all the tabs, reduce the color to 60%. Then we're going to add a subtle shadow for all the tabs. Next, we're going to fill the power button with the accent color and also add shadow. Then, we'll move the tab bar down a little without hiding it too much, so users may rotate the tab bar to see the options underneath. Now, let's move on to the next section where we'll discuss visual hierarchy and information architecture before designing our second screen. Visual hierarchy is a key principle in UI design that arranges elements by importance to guide the user's attention through the interface. It helps users easily process information by using size, color, contrast, and placement to highlight important content. For example, larger, bolder text usually draws attention first and is used for headings, while smaller text is for secondary details. A well-organized visual hierarchy makes the interface intuitive and reduces effort, helping users navigate and interact more efficiently. Information architecture involves organizing and structuring content within an app or website to ensure users can easily find and interact with information. It's about planning how to categorize, label, and link different pieces of content to create a clear, intuitive navigation experience. This helps users quickly locate the information they need and enhances the overall usability of the interface. Duplicate or create a new screen frame and retain the status bar, navigation bar, and tab bar. Let's design a calendar on the Daily Plan screen to help users manage their fitness routines more effectively. This calendar allows users to schedule, track, and visualize their workouts, which encourages regular exercise and helps in building consistent fitness habits. Let's type the month and ensure that the text is set to auto width and aligned to the left. Let's add the year too. Then we're going to use the title to text style. We'll create a column for the days of the week starting with Sunday. Type S using the body style. Below it, type the date, for example, 14. I forgot to specify a style for the day, so we'll manually change it to space grotesque, size 20, and bold. Select the 2 texts, apply auto layout, and set the spacing between them to 10. Duplicate this pair 6 more times, then select all the pairs and apply auto layout again. Finally, resize the width to 353 and set the spacing to auto. Now all you have to do is change the correct days and date of days, then set the color styles. Let's create the navigation by designing a liquid button. To form the liquid shape, create two circles with a diameter of 44 each and a small rectangle measuring 20 by 10. We're going to select the three shapes and combine them into one shape by using the Union tool. The spacing between the two circles is 8, and fill the union shape with the accent color. Now we need chevron left and right icon, which will allow user to change the week easily. Put them in a 44 by 44 container and align it with the circle. Name the layer and add all the elements to a frame. Then apply auto layout to the date and year along with the navigation frame. Change the resizing of the frame to 353 and set the gap to auto. Group the two containers into one using auto layout and set the spacing between them to 20. Let's create a rectangle of 353 by 236 for the base. Enter edit mode by selecting it from the toolbar at the top. We're going to shape it like a folder, but we'll round the corners after. First, let's add the liquid button. Let's create a rectangle of 100 by 44, then replace the circle on the right. Now type more using body style and replace the icon. Of course, resize the container too. The button from the left is going to be sharing the exercise to friend, so we're going to change the icon. Before editing the shape, we must ensure that the liquid button has enough padding. Use a ruler to guide you. Add a line below the button in front of the shape. Position it in the top right-hand corner with a spacing of 10 on each side. Then proceed to edit the shape. Now, use the ruler again to add another vertical line next to the button to guide you, ensuring there is a spacing of 10. Then I see that my spacing on the left is 13, so I'll adjust my shape. Once you've reached a padding of 10 on each side, let's move on to the next step. Don't forget that you may pause at any time and continue the video when you've done. Now, round the shape to 30 and fill it with an accent color. Then, group everything into a frame. Now that we've completed our card structure, we need to add the content inside. Let's start with an exercise intensity label. Type the category of the exercise intensity, for example, high intensity, using the body style. Add auto layout and ensure there is enough padding around the label with 10 on each side. We'll adjust the width according to the padding. Fill the shape with white color and reduce the opacity to 10%. Also, add a stroke using white color at 10% opacity. Now let's type cardio sessions using headline style. Add a short description for the sessions using SF Pro, set to regular and size 15. It's important to consider the line height, or the spacing between lines of text. A good line height can improve readability and reduce eye strain. A general guideline is to use a line height of 1.5 times the font size, but this can also vary depending on the font and layout. We're now going to put the two texts into a container and align them properly. We can add additional content below the description to provide more insights into the session. Let's take the component from the Assets page. It's information about the session's rating to gauge its popularity, along with reviews that can help users decide whether this cardio session is suitable for them. Also, an estimate of the calories that could be burned during the session. Place it at the bottom with a spacing of 10 from the right, left, and bottom. Then change the text color to white. Place the card at the bottom, then add the heading and replace the title. Add the title and the card in a container with a spacing of 16. Put the tab bar layer at the top of the layer list, then duplicate the card and change the color. Let's create a tooltip that appears when you hover over a date to display details about that date. A tooltip is a contextual overlay that provides additional information. They are useful for providing quick insights without cluttering the main UI. I'm going to hide the card layer to better focus on the tooltip, right? Let's start by creating a rectangle. For now, the height doesn't really matter as we'll be adjusting it later. The width, on the other hand, needs to be 353. I'm going to go a little faster. It's the same method as the liquid button. Let's add some information. Type Daily Challenge using Title 3 style. Now, add more information about when users should do their daily challenge using SF Pro Regular size 13. Next, add a title to your daily challenge along with a description. I use the same information as in my card, but typically you should include a specific exercise description, such as jogging for 30 minutes or running a 5K. Well, the thing I don't like about using frames is that they don't adjust when I add more elements, so I have to manually make the frame bigger. That's why I prefer using auto layout, but the downside is that it doesn't let you create custom shapes. Now you'll need the Friends layout in my asset page and place it at the bottom. See how annoying it is to manually change colors every time? In a few moments, I'll show you variables. We'll add a progress bar so users can see where they are in their daily challenging. Press on L and create a line. Change the width of 4 and round the line. Change the width to 313. Keep the color white and duplicate this line and change its color to an accent color and adjust the width. Then the only steps left are to name the layers and organize them properly by grouping. Ensure that each element is well aligned with a padding of 20 on each side. The spacing between elements should also be 20, except for the text box, which should have a spacing of 4. Finally, place all the elements within a frame. Let's jump to the last section where we'll learn about typography and colors variables and finish our third screen. Remember how time-consuming it was to update each text element manually when you wanted to change a font or adjust the size across multiple frames? Those days are gone. With typography variables, you can set up font family, size, and spacing once and apply them across your designs with just a few clicks. Typography variables are a game changer for efficiently managing and scaling your design system. This section will walk you through setting up and applying these variables to enhance your workflow and maintain consistency across your projects. Also, we will show you how to easily switch your design between dark and light modes using color variables. Variables in Figma, often referred to as design tokens, are reusable values that can be applied across various properties of a design system, such as colors, typography, spacings, and more. They allow designers to maintain consistency and scalability within their projects by enabling quick updates and ensuring uniformity across all components and layouts. For solo projects, variables are still very useful, though the benefits might not be as immediately apparent as in team settings. Even when working alone, using variables can greatly enhance your workflow efficiency. You can explore design systems in the Figma community that utilize variables. These systems benefit beginners who want to jump straight into designing without setting up everything from scratch. By using these established systems, beginners gain insights into professional design structures and effective use of variables, providing a valuable learning experience. Figma uses four main types of variables. Color variables are used to define and apply consistent colors to elements like fills and strokes. Number variables assign numerical values to properties such as width, height, padding, and spacing. String variables control text content within designs, useful for localization and dynamic text updates. Boolean variables manage visibility states with true or false values. Deselect everything on the canvas. Locate the Local Variables section in the right sidebar. Click the Open Variables button to open the Variables panel. Click on Create New Collection and name it Typography. This collection will contain all your typography-related variables. Typography variables in Figma come in two types, string and number variables. Let's start by creating a new string variable. Name it according to the font family it represents, such as font family title. For this design, I'm using two fonts, Space Grotesque and SF Pro. I will create two groups, one for the font families and another for title and body text. Using a slash separates these into groups. Duplicate the variable and change the name to body and the value to SF Pro. Let's integrate these new variables into our existing text styles. Hover over the style and click on Edit Style. From the Font Family drop-down, click on the variable icon. A panel will appear displaying the available string variables for selection. Choose Title, and you will see its name appear below the properties. Now, let's create variables for font weight. We have two options is to create number or string variables. You can use number variables for numeric values like 300 for light, 400, 500, 600, and 700 for bold. However, I prefer using string variables which use names like regular and bold. Create another string variable, type font weight light for the name, and set the value to light. Duplicate the variable, change for semi-bold, and add another for regular. Let's update again our text style. This time, click on the font weight drop menu and apply variable, and search for font weight. Next, we're going to create variables for font size, using number variables this time. Name them in a clear and organized manner, such as font size XS. I'm going to enter all the font sizes I plan to use and name them accordingly. XS for 11, SM for 13, MD for 15, LG for 17, XL for 20, 2XL for 34, 3XL for 40, and the largest, 4XL for 60. Let's integrate these new variables into our existing text styles. From the font size drop-down, click on the variable icon. Search for font size. We're going to add number variables for line height, a crucial element of typography. Typically, line height is set at 1.2 to 1.5 times the font size to enhance both readability and aesthetic appeal. This ratio varies depending on the font and its application. For body text, a multiplier of 1.4 to 1.5 is common, while headings might benefit from a tighter spacing of 1.2 to 1.3, ensuring legibility and a visually pleasing layout. We'll do the same thing we did with font size and name it SX to 4XL, but change the value for the line height. Next, you need to apply the variables to your text styles. You don't have to do this step since I'm already handling it and will share the file with you. However, you might want to practice on your own project by creating your own variables. Let's see how useful these variables can be. For example, if you want to change the font for your titles, you can do it in one place instead of changing it everywhere. Right now, we're only working with 2 screens, but imagine how helpful this would be in a larger project with many screens. Now we're going to convert our color styles into variables. Instead of doing this manually, I'm going to use a plugin called Styles to Variables Converter. This plugin will automatically convert your color styles into variables and update the properties of each color style accordingly. Go to your collection and you'll find your new variable colors at the top of the list. I've only created color style for light mode. I'd like to create colors for dark mode. To do this, I'm going to add a new value specifically for dark mode. Next, I'll replace the colors for dark mode. So, you see I forgot to change the color. Go to Layers Properties, you'll see the icon variable, click on that, and you'll see Color Style. And there are 2 modes, change for dark. Now we'll test whether the light and dark modes work with the full layout. Select the full layout, and if you've applied the color styles correctly, it should work. I'm now going to group the text colors together under the name foreground and place the other colors in a separate group called colors. We'll pick up where we left off. We're going to create the weight entry screen for users to input their weight as part of setting up their profile or tracking their fitness progress. Let's create an ellipse with a diameter of 6 and 30, remove the fill, and add a stroke. Change the stroke width to 30, open the advanced stroke settings, change the stroke style to dash, and set the dash value to 2 and the gap to 9. Now, let's duplicate this dashed line, change the stroke width to 40, and set the dash to 2 and the gap to 53. Now, let's create a double stroke outline with the dashed line in the middle. First, create a circle with a diameter of 700 and align it with the dashed line. Then, create another circle with a diameter of 500 and center it within the other circles. We're going to group all the ellipse layers together. I only want to see the top part of the circle, not the entire circle, so I need to create a frame to mask and hide the rest of it. We cannot create variables for color gradients, but we're going to use a linear gradient by applying the color variables to each stop. You will find all the colors variables in the libraries. I want my color to stop in the middle, so I'm going to place 2 color stops next to each other using the same color. We'll do the same for the other dashed line, but instead of repeating the process, I'll create a style for this gradient and apply it to the other dashed line. Select the 2 other ellipses, and we're going to apply the container color variable to them. I need a line in the middle for the cursor, so we're going to create a vertical line with a length of 60 in green color and raise the line. Let's create a polygon to serve as the cursor, setting its size to 38 by 38. Rotate the pentagon to -180. And round the corner to 2. Duplicate it. Fill the smaller polygon with blue color and change the size to 24 by 24. Round the corners of the polygon by 2 on the inside and 4 on the underside. Then fill the bigger polygon with the light blue color. We're going to group the line and the 2 polygons layer in a frame. Set the type to 90 using the SF Pro font. Lightweight, size 16. I've realized that I'm running out of space for my text, so I'm going to increase the size of my circle to 500 and lower it slightly. Duplicate the text, rotate to 40 degrees and change the text to 70. Duplicate again the text, rotate to -40 degree and change the text to 120. I want my line to fade on both ends, so I'll apply a gradient with 3 color stops. The stops on each side will be set to 0% opacity, and the middle stop will be at 100% opacity. We'll use the segmented control from the asset page for navigation elements instead of creating new ones. This control is like the liquid button technique and has segments for different weight units. Each segment is linked visually but functions independently. Tapping a segment lets the user switch between units. Now we need the asset page liquid button. The last step is to create data cards, each displaying a specific type of user information, one for age and the other for height, in a clear and minimalistic design. Press on T and type an age using the Title 1 style. Then at the top, type age using the sub-headline style. Add a gear icon to allow users to access and modify configurations or preferences for the age setting. Group the text and the gear icon within an auto layout. Then, select this new container and the age element and place them into another auto layout. Set the gap between items to 20 and apply 20 pixels of horizontal and vertical padding. Fill the container with the container style, round the corner, and I'm going to change the width size to 166. Duplicate, change the text. Ensure the fill extends across all child containers. Then, fill the icon with the button color style. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a very important element missing. Weight. Let's type 115 using Title 1 style and add LBS using body style. Just name your layers, set the text and color styles, then test in dark mode and adjust the colors to your liking. That's it for today. Congratulations on finishing the course. You've learned essential skills in flat design and light mode, including visual hierarchy, information architecture, and using typography and color variables. These tools will help you keep your designs consistent and improve your projects. Keep using what you've learned and keep innovating in your designs.
I hope that you like and enjoy this video. So see you next time. Bye.